Hey, where's all your stuff? And what are you thinking? Leaving me with these divorce papers?
Because after the graduation ceremony is over, my daughter and I are graduating from you.
What? Why? Why so sudden?
Sudden? How can you say it's so sudden when you didn't even try to take care of our daughter? Or were you so caught up in your affair that you didn't even notice it?
What?
My name is Claire. I am a 37-year-old housewife. My husband, Nathan, and I have been married for 10 years. My husband and I met through work. He was part of business client's company, and the one who managed the exchanges between my company and his. My husband was 5 years older than me and was mature. I had always liked older men, so I may have made some modifications in my brain. Then, one day, he asked me out to dinner. After that, we started to go out on dates. I was thinking that maybe we could continue to date and get married. When we officially started dating, he told me that he had a child, a 4-year-old girl named Caitlin. He had left his wife because she was having an affair. I was honestly surprised. But I was glad that my husband told me the truth at an early stage. It actually gave me a good impression of him. So, we officially started to date. And I met Caitlin for the first time. I thought she would be wary of meeting a woman she didn't know. But Caitlin was very friendly and talked to me a lot. I thought that I could get along well with her. With this thought, I once again began to think that I could actually marry him. 1 year after we started dating, my husband proposed and I said yes. After our marriage, he asked me to quit my job and become a housewife.
Until now, I've left Caitlin at home with my parents. But I can't depend on them all the time, can I? Besides, you would want Caitlin to think of you as her mother too, right?
That was true. No matter how good of a girl Caitlin is, if we leave her with his parents every day, it would take time for her to recognize me as her mother. Puberty will come before she recognizes me as her mother, and she might distance herself from me. Besides, my in-laws are getting older. It will be quite a burden to take care of a young child. I thought deeply about it and decided to follow my husband's advice and became a housewife. Since then, I have been spending more and more time with Caitlin. Caitlin, what shall we do today? Let's draw. Great, then I'll bring crayons. Wow, you're really good. Is this a flower? Yes, I love flowers. Okay, Caitlin, it's snack time. Yay, snack! Caitlin was a very nice girl and opened up to me right away. Thanks to being a housewife and spending time together during the day, she started to call me Mom very early on. When she called me her mother for the first time, I almost cried. It was the first time I felt motherhood. The more time I spent with Caitlin, the more I loved her. I've realized that blood relations had nothing to do with love. I loved Caitlin as if she were my own daughter and gave her my full attention. Time passed so quickly, and Caitlin is turning 14 years old this year. She was 4 years old when we met, so it has been 10 years already. Caitlin is already in 8th grade. I'm sure she will grow up in the blink of an eye. She will soon become a high school student, then probably a college student. And then she'll start working and maybe get married. If you think about it, there is a possibility that she'll have experienced all of these in less than 10 years. Caitlin is currently preparing for her high school entrance exams, so she often goes to cram school after her extracurricular activities. She usually comes home at 8 p.m. or so. I think it's really great that she studied so hard.
Welcome home. Dinner's ready.
I'm home. Is Dad home yet?
He's gonna be working late today. So, let's eat first.
Okay. She seems a little down.
Caitlin, what's wrong?
What?
I was just wondering if there was something wrong. It's nothing.
Oh, I'm so hungry. What's for dinner tonight?
It's chicken pot pie.
Yes, my favorite.
Caitlin seems to be covering up her thoughts with her smile. I've been by her side for 10 years, so I kind of know when something is wrong. Did something happen to her at school? I'm worried, but I don't want to force her to talk. I'll wait for her to talk to me when the time is right. But then, about a month later, something unexpected happened. I had to go to my parents' house that day, so I came home around 7 p.m. When I got home, I heard some shouting. My husband and Caitlin were arguing. I didn't understand what was going on, but I rushed to stop the two of them. Hey, what's wrong with you two?
I don't care about Dad anymore.
What an attitude you have towards your father. Caitlin went straight to her room. Caitlin! I immediately questioned my husband. What the hell is going on? You've never raised your voice like that before. And Caitlin never talked back like that either. It's nothing, he replies, awkwardly averting his eyes. It didn't look like nothing though. I'm your wife and her mother. You have to tell me what happened. If this is about Caitlin's career, the three of us should talk. I said it's nothing. Stop trying to pry into it. He then started to walk away. Hey, where are you going? I'm going outside. I'm gonna go out and get some food too. Hey, wait! My husband left the house without listening to my words. I had no choice but to quickly cook dinner and called Caitlin from her room. At first she said she didn't want it, but when I told her Dad went out somewhere, so it's just the two of us, she came out of the room. What happened? I asked her as we ate, but she remained silent and wouldn't answer. You don't want to talk to Mom about it? I was a little sad. I had thought that my daughter and I had bonded in our own way. I wondered why she had such a fight with her father. I was curious, but neither my husband nor Caitlin wanted to talk about it. Ever since then, Caitlin hardly speaks to her father or me anymore. I understand her distancing herself from her father because of their fight. But it makes me sad to see her distancing herself from me as well. I thought it was not a good thing for a parent-child relationship. So after a while, I decided to talk to my husband about it. About Caitlin, I don't think it's a good idea to keep things like this. Then my husband said something outrageous. I don't give a shit about Caitlin anymore. I couldn't believe it. What are you saying? She's your daughter. It was her fault. It was her fault then and it's her fault now. She obviously doesn't want anything to do with me. That's something you're gonna have to work on. Why should I care about my daughter? Nathan, I was out of words. It's no wonder they fought. Their father and daughter. Even family have their disputes. Even so, it's part of keeping up family to make up with each other. And yet, my husband, with all his stupid stubbornness, did not try to talk to his daughter. If you keep on being like that, Caitlin wouldn't want to talk to you. What? You're saying it's my fault? Yes,
It's your fault that you won't talk.
Come on, tell me what's going on.
Why should I be the only one left out?
I started to cry. Shut up. This is between Caitlin and me.
My husband left the house again. Why won't anybody tell me about what happened?
I was alone sitting on the living room floor, crying. Then I heard the door slam open. Oh, Caitlin. I'm sorry. I'll make you dinner right now.
I wiped my tears and got up to head to the kitchen. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were in so much pain. I'll tell you about the fight I had with Dad.
She choked up as she began to speak.
That day, I saw him. I happened to be riding my bike to a fast food restaurant after school with my friends. We were sitting at the table where we could see the sidewalk through the glass. Then I saw Dad. I saw him walking arm in arm with a woman I didn't know. So after I came home that day, I asked him about what was going on. And that's how we got into a fight.
Oh, that's how it was.
That was beyond my imagination. I'm sorry about not talking to you. I didn't know what to do.
I hugged her tightly. I'm sorry you had to suffer on your own. It must have been hard for you to know all that by yourself.
My daughter cried aloud when I said that. I couldn't stop crying either.
So we both sobbed for a while. After we calmed down, we talked.
I don't think I can stay married to your father anymore.
But I want to spend time with you. What about you, Caitlin?
I want to live with you. I don't want to live with the kind of man who destroys his family to go to another woman. I was happy that she chose me, and I made up my mind
that I would take care of her for the rest of my life. Then I'll have to find a job and find a place to move first. I immediately took action. I applied for a good-paying office job. To my surprise, I got the job first try. Although there was a blank in my resume, my work history and qualifications were suitable for the job, and I started working right away. My husband had been talking less and less since our fight. He started leaving early in the morning and coming home late at night. So he doesn't even know I'm working. My daughter and I became closer than ever. We would go to viewings for possible places to live on the weekends. We would have lunch and go shopping on the way home. We enjoyed our mother-daughter dates. And then we found a place to move in. My daughter's high school entrance exam was also successfully done, and I could finally say goodbye to my husband. Just when I was thinking that, my husband started talking to me with an apologetic look. I'm sorry. It's about Caitlin's graduation day. I can't go because I have to go on a business trip. I see. Well, if it's for work, you can't do anything about it. Sorry. The way he said it showed he thought it was bad at all. This made me slightly angry. But at the same time, I felt that I didn't really care about my husband anymore. Besides, I had already used the detective agency and obtained a lot of photos to prove the affair. In fact, I already know that my husband is not going on a business trip, but an affair trip. He thought he could hide it from me. I tried to look at his phone while he was taking a bath. I found that it was password protected, but the number was my husband's birthday, and I immediately opened it. So, from the messages from his affair partner, I got the information that my husband was going on an affair trip on his daughter's graduation day. For my daughter and I, my husband was no longer a family member, but rather a housemate. So, neither of us cared about his presence. Then, on a graduation day, we packed up and moved out. My
husband was away for a couple of days, so I guess he'll find the divorce papers on the table the day after tomorrow. A few days later, sure enough, I got a phone call from my husband.
Hey, where's all your stuff? And what are you thinking? Leaving me these divorce papers?
Isn't it clear what it means? I can't stay married to you any longer, so I want a divorce.
I don't see any of Caitlin's stuff either. But is she with you?
Yes, she is. She said she can't live with you either. After the graduation ceremony is over, my daughter and I are graduating from you.
What? Why? Why so sudden?
Sudden? How can you say it's so sudden when you didn't even try to take care of your daughter? Or were you so caught up in your affair that you didn't even notice it?
What?
Caitlin told me. The fight that day was because Caitlin questioned you about the affair, and you fought back.
What? That's because the man Caitlin saw wasn't me, but she said it was so.
Unfortunately, I have evidence of infidelity taken by detectives. You can't get away with that, can you? Wow. I bet you had a fabulous, dreamy time on your trip, on your daughter's graduation day. So it's time to get back to reality. Of course I'm going to ask for alimony and child support. I'll even send a contents certified letter to your workplace.
I can't have that happen.
I don't care what you say. I don't know your affair partner's address, so the only way is to send it to your workplace. It's your fault for having an affair with a coworker.
Oh no. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. The devil struck. Please, forgive me.
When my husband, feeling the odds were against him, started bleeding, my daughter took the phone from me. We will never forgive you. You betrayed Mom and me. You went to have an affair with the intention of destroying our family, didn't you? Then take responsibility and give in. Life is not easy. Life is not easy that you can just take the good parts of it. With that, my daughter hung up. The phone rang shortly thereafter, but I ignored it and blocked the number. I didn't expect a 14-year-old say a line like that. Kids grow up before you know it. I then, through my lawyer, demanded a divorce. Of course, I demanded alimony and child support. My husband was reluctant to the last minute, but he said he didn't want to go to court, so the divorce was finalized. He paid alimony and child support in one lump sum. I also demanded alimony from his affair partner and got them to pay that too. Through the letter I sent to my now ex-husband and his affair partner's workplace, their co-workers found out about their affair. He took a pay cut and was transferred to a regional office. In addition to having to pay alimony for the affair, he had a difficult time at work, so he eventually resigned voluntarily. Well, he and his partner got what they deserved. Meanwhile, I'm living comfortably with my daughter in our new apartment. It's close to her high school, so she often brings her friends over and enjoys playing with them. Even though we're not blood related, we have a deep mother-daughter bond. We will continue to support each other and live happily.